already talking about New Year resolutions. And if you've been listening to us this morning, Solomon and myself were talking about that a few minutes ago. A lot of us are talking about New Year resolutions: save more, spend less. 2026, I'll do better financially. 2026, I'll do ABC. I'll budget more. I'll do all kinds of things. But before we rush into January with new plans, I think there's something very important that we need to do first, and that is to look back at the financial year we've just lived. We need to look back at the financial year that we've just lived. And this morning's conversation is not about judging ourselves or beating ourselves up. It's simply about being very honest, asking ourselves some questions like, how did we earn our money this year? How did we spend it? What habits actually helped us? And which ones worked against us? How do we deal with all of these things? Because you see, the truth is that if we don't pause to review, we may actually carry the same mistakes or financial mistakes into a new year and call them new goals. And so that is why we're having this conversation today. We're talking about the end of year financial review, what you should actually be checking before January comes. Today is 29th, just a few days to January. What are the things that you need to be checking? Whether you had a great financial great year financially, or you're just trying to survive, this particular conversation is for you. And to help us break it down in a very practical way, I'm joined by Ebenezer Otuokle. He is an economic policy analyst, but also doubles as a financial advisor. He's going to help us make sense of some of the things that we have to talk about, and he's guiding us on how to enter the new year with clarity, with control, and also some realistic expectations. And that is what we're talking about this morning. Eben, good morning and welcome to the Business Breakfast on Z.
Good morning, Lee, and good morning to our cherished listeners, and Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
To everyone.
Right. Merry Christmas to you too. And Happy New Year in advance. All right. So let's get into our conversation. First of all, maybe tell me, why is it important that we do an end of year financial review? Why is that important than just jumping straight into New Year resolutions?
Okay, so thank you once again. I heard you mention the fact that right? So you want to make plans for the ensuing year. You want to plan for what you think you'll be doing in the coming year. So it's important to review the current year to look at, okay, what did I do wrong? What went wrong? Before you even make your new plans, I believe before we entered into this year, 2025, you already had some plans, you already had some resolutions, something that you wanted to do. You had some expectations. So you should be able to review those previous plans and against the actual, what you were able to do, and see what are the disparity, what is the difference, what really happened. Did you get close? Did you not do anything at all? Were you in the middle somewhere? What went wrong, right? So that then becomes a reference point to judge. Okay, this didn't go well. I didn't do right in this particular level, right? In terms of maybe budget, maybe I spent so much on partying, or spent so much on buying appliances or something. So it gives you how do you call it? A clear view of the mistakes that you did, or even if you did, about expectations, right? So that in planning to the coming year, you can do that perfectly, because you cannot plan forward without understanding where you are coming from, right? So if you know where you are coming from in this particular year, then it gives you a clear direction to go in the coming year, because financial mistakes should not be repeated. Otherwise, it can be very costly. So you look at the mistakes that you've done, then you pick the lessons from there that you are able to identify, right? So because the resolution that you are trying to make, they would work better when they are based on facts and not hope, right?
Right.
You are not just hoping that things will get better. You are not just hoping that my income is going to increase, so I'm going to do better, spend better, get a new spending habit or something. But it is based on the fact, and the facts are what has happened this year. What happened, what you saw. These are facts that happened. So they they are able to guide you. Yeah, that is why it's important that you review the financial year.
Wow. But who should be doing the review? Is it only high income earners or everyone?
Everyone has to review. You know, most often when we talk about financial literacy and saving and investment and all this, some people within a particular income bracket think it is not for them because to them, I barely even have enough to even feed myself. So why do I have to listen to some of this? But it's important, right? So things like this are important to everybody. Your saving habit, it is not only based on the amount of money you have. When we're talking about a habit you have, it's built on. It's something that you build on gradually. So if you are able to save from the 500 cedis that you are paid monthly, and you're able to save, let's say, 1 CD from it, right? Then it gives you an indication that maybe if I'm also earning like 1,000 CDs, then I should be able to save more, right? You understand? So based on proportion. So regardless of how much you are earning, you should be able to build a financial discipline that ensures that you're able to save something. So, or even how you spend, you're able to change it. Okay, so when we are reviewing the financial year, it's for everybody at all, whether you are a small business, whether you're a big business, whether you are an individual with a child or without a child. Regardless, our saving habits will be different, but we all should be able to make some effort.
I see. Right. So everybody should be doing this particular review. Whether you are not earning too much or you are earning too much, you need to still put in place those those particular reviews. All right. So very important one as well. What kind of mindset should people have when they are reviewing their finances? Is it honesty? Is it discipline or ambition?
It's very important that you are very honest with yourself, right? You don't have to state, like I said earlier. It's important that we state the fact. So you need to do it honestly. You knew the year under review. You knew what you didn't do right. You don't have to say, okay, I think I didn't do well because I wasn't paid well because my income was small. Based on, it's sometimes we compare ourselves to other people, like friends or something, who are in different income brackets. So it's important that we do this honestly. Okay. So when we are listing your income, your expenses, you do that without excuses, like I said earlier.
Okay.
You don't have to make any excuse. You know the amount of money you earn. You know that it's not likely that maybe in the coming year you are going to receive any windfalls or maybe some gift or something. And I always say that when you are making plans, it's important that you don't include certain items, especially on certain incomes, that you are not very certain that you will be receiving. Even if your boss promised you that you get some bonus, so far as you are not sure that the bonus will get, because sometimes the bonus are dependent on performance. You don't make plans around some things like that. So it's important that you are honest to yourself as possible. If you owe debt, you should include them. That okay, I owe money, I have to pay. If you are not able to how do you call it, take on debt, you should also make plans for that. That you cannot do that. If you know that okay, this is the amount of money I can save. Let me say this. I think yesterday or so, a friend of mine tested me that okay, he wanted us to make some savings, right? And he mentioned some amount of money that, okay, every month we should save this amount of money, right? Now, if I was able to access it, okay, I can do the saving, but maybe not the amount of money you're talking about, based on my own
your income levels.
bracket. Maybe I can do this or that. So sometimes, not because friends are doing, everybody is doing, you want to do something. You understand? You need to do a very honest review of yourself. You have to look at the patterns over the year, and not just a particular month. You know, every month comes with its own expenses and all that. So you have to be very careful. The amount of money you spend in general will be different from December, from particular months. When you are in a month where you are paying fees, the expenditure will be different. So do an honest assessment of all these months, and then you can plan very well.
Okay. So typically, what does an honest financial review actually look like for the average person or household?
Yeah. So when you are doing an honest review, you should be able to list all your incomes, right? So you know this amount of money I am expecting to receive. Clearly, honestly, you know that you have one job, so that is where you are sure that you're going to receive some amount of money from. If you have other side assets that you think that can also give you income, maybe it's fine. But like I said earlier, as much as possible, try to be honest. Don't list any uncertain income that you would plan around and then you go and spend and then now the money does not come. Somebody has promised you some money. I don't think it's something that you should even include in your budget because you are not very certain about that.
Sorry to cut you. Are we looking at budget or because we are looking at what the past year looked like financially, isn't it?
Yes. So I'm looking at what the past year has been, and now you are reviewing it. Okay, and I'm saying that in doing so, you should be able to you have listed the income that you received, your expenses, right? What you spent, the debt that you took on, probably the savings that you were able to make, right? And then you are reviewing it, you are evaluating it. What went wrong? What didn't go wrong? Maybe in listing my so for instance in my expenses, what did I spend most on? Is this something I can cut back?
Okay.
Maybe you look at utility bills. Were you spending too much on utility bills? Let's say in a particular month you spent more than other month. So in that particular month, what's so different about that particular month, right? So you can do all this review or assessment when you have data available. So that is why it's important that as you are spending, or even if you don't do that in the coming year, as you are spending, you are writing them down. You are putting them down. Okay, this month, this how much I spent. So it gives you, you're able to make a good reference, right? To know what went wrong, what did you spend on, how much debt did you take on, were you able to pay? If you're not able to pay, how did you communicate your your creditors and all that? So this gives you a clear view of what to do, and without stating any excuse and all that. So you also have to also look at the pattern over the year, not just like I said, not just in a particular month. So different months they come up with different items, so we have to look at them differently. And then, of course, we have to be truthful to ourselves in our spending decisions.
Let's stay on that for a few minutes. So, looking at it, does it mean that you don't give any small money chance? So, for instance, if you spent very little amount of money on something, is it still significant?
Yeah. So, if you spend very little on something, in economics, we would say that maybe that thing is inelastic. So you don't mind how much you will spend, or even on that. But it's important, right? That's more money. If you are spending on something, let's say you know that it's monthly, you spend let's say 100 cedis, okay?
For instance, on data,
buying,
internet
on
data or something,
right?
Yeah.
Yes. So you spend 100 cedis on data. So that 100 cedis on data, you can access and see, okay, can I cut it back to let's say 80 cedis? Okay. Just imagine saving that 20 cedis for 12 months. You understand? That's some good money, right?
Yeah.
At least something that I think that's what 240 cedis.
Yeah, 240 cedis.
240 cedis, yeah. So that 240 cedis is something that you maybe you'll be able to save just from buying data. You go to another expenditure item, you're able to save small money. So sometimes these small monies accumulated in the year can be significant actually. So you are looking at cutting back small on data. You are able to cut small on your electricity. Maybe instead of leaving the light on overnight, or maybe when you are going to work, you don't put them off. What if you do that? You can save something, right? So instead of buying prepaid for less than 200 cedis in a month, you're able to buy 150. So you cut back small, and it's important. So even though they look small, over time they are quite significant. Yeah, so we don't give more money chance.
Right. Okay. Very important. So also you were talking about the fact that you need to write down some of the things with data. You can only do the review with data. Does it mean that anybody who doesn't have data at this point can't do a review?
Yeah, you can't do a proper review without the data. You see, sometimes you lose sight of. So sometimes people would be paid, and then at the end of the month you ask, where did the money go? Sometimes even people who are doing business, they be asking themselves, it's some devil, before now they are siphoning my money or something. You don't know where the money went. You understand? Because sometimes you buy something here, you put some money here, and then you don't really keep proper books of accounts, so you don't really know where the money went, unless maybe you are using a large portion to do something. That one normally you're able to notice. But so 50 cedis here, 100 cedis here, 200 cedis here, you don't really take account of it. You think, it's small, it's nothing. But give 100 cedis 5 and it's what? 500 Ghana cedis.
Yeah.
You understand? So you think because they are small, it's nothing. Yeah, I bought something. No, you don't take account of it. But if you put pen and paper down, and personally, I have this note on my phone, right, where anytime I buy something, I put the item down and the amount of money there. Just on my phone, I type. Within 5 seconds, I'm done. I type and I put the money there, right? Good. So at the end of the week, I'm able to see that, okay, this week, this amount of money I spent, and what did I spend on? This item that I can forgo, this item that I can cut back. Should I insist spend on some items? You understand? So a clear data, even though maybe you can say, okay, I can still review. No, but you can't do a proper review without data. That is what's important, that you have the data. So if you know that this week, this amount I spent, in a month, you can now tell that, okay, this month, this amount I've spent. So now when you want to review your spending habits, or maybe your income, where the money comes from. So sometimes you're expecting somebody owes you, but because you've not written down, that you will forget that somebody owes you money. You sold to some people, you don't keep proper books. So you lose sight of it. You understand?
Yeah.
So that is why it's important that you keep proper books. Maybe not like anything. Sometimes just book and paper, you write something small, and then So that way, when you are going back to go through everything, you can see clearly. But otherwise, if you don't do that and you are just dishing out small money in some places that you don't think, compared to my income, it's not significant. So 20 cities can go here and all that. Sometimes these small expenses, when they are summed up, they become quite significant. Yeah.
Okay. Right. So we're going to talk about income levels. So but for those listening to us now, I'm sure that now you have a fair idea what exactly the review is about and some of the things that you actually need. Data that you actually need to be able to to be able to review very well. So if you didn't have it for 2025, maybe going to 2026, you need to have the data to be able to do a successful review at the end of the day or intermittently as we go through the year. But please hold on for me, Eben. We're going to get into other parts of the conversation. We're going to talk about income levels and also spending patterns and lifestyle choices, how all of those things come into play. But if you just tuned in, this is Business Breakfast on Z101.9 FM with me, Nicho Ebi Hamon. This morning we're talking about financial review, end of year financial review, what you should actually check if you want to review your finances. And we're saying that many people actually go into the year with all kinds of resolutions. Financially, this year I want to hit this amount of money, I want to do this, I want to do that. But you cannot really do that very well if you don't have a full review of the previous year. So for 2025, if you don't have a good review and you're having some new year resolutions into next year, then you might be making some mistakes. So you need to look at it so that you don't repeat the mistakes that you made in this particular year. So that's why we're having this important conversation. And my guest is Ebenezer Otuokli, and he's helping us make sense of exactly how to go about it. If you just joined, you can also Engage us on our social media platforms. We are on Facebook at ZFMGH. We're streaming live now on Facebook at ZFMGH and also on YouTube at Z Multimedia. Please drop a comment and we'll read them for you. And also you can send us a WhatsApp on 0544321019. If you have any questions, send them to me 0544321019. Or you can call me on 030395661, 030395661, and then I give you the opportunity to ask your questions or make your comments this morning right here on the Business Breakfast on Z. Eben, let's continue our conversation. So let's look at the income part of it. You know, when you're reviewing income, what exactly should people be checking beyond how much they earned?
Okay, so I mean, when you are checking your income, it's important to look at the flows, right? So most often you should be able to look at what are the income that are certain to come most often, right? Sometimes there are ones that you are working, you know that you are going to earn a monthly income, right? So those ones sometimes it's like you are certain that they're going to come. They are so that maybe you get some gigs and then you do something that you also have to note those ones down. So there are ones that are monthly, some are maybe seasonal, some are also not really regular. You understand? And most often you should be able to know that am I somebody who depends on only one source of income? And most often for people who depend on only one source of income, which I mean most people are, then it means that your vulnerability increases, right? Because you are vulnerable. That means that if that particular month you are not paid, then you are in trouble. You see? Yeah. So you have to look at assess the various sources of income for you. Now, that means that if you know that you are somebody who earns from only one source, then going forward, or adding to your New Year resolutions, it's important that you look at what else can I do? What other things can I do to earn me some money? What some side jobs I can do? Maybe.
Even let's stay in the context of the review, because I see that you're trying to project into next year. So people are looking at what kinds of sources of their source of finances, and then they are projecting into the next year. Let's look at we're focusing on reviewing what we've done. So what are the things what exactly should we be checking beyond how much I earned at the end of the year, in terms of income? I don't know if you get a question.
Yes. Can you come again?
Yes. So I'm saying that when you are reviewing income, so you want to look at how much money came into my hands, or how much money did I earn at the end of the period. And I'm saying that what exactly should we be checking beyond that particular one? Is there anything we should be checking?
Oh yeah. So so that's what I was trying to say. If when you are reviewing your income, you know how much you earned probably from your monthly salary, for instance. You know how much you earn.
Right.
Now, it's important to now look at where did this money go? Where did they go? What did I spend on? So if you are looking at it, sometimes it's important to apportion percentages to them. Maybe that's why the data is important, so that you can now do a good review. Now, maybe 10% went here, and then some also went to this side. So you can tell that, maybe I spent this on entertainment, I spent this on utility, I spent this on clothing. Yeah. But if you have different sources of income, let's say you apart from your monthly earning, the other sources that you can earn from, then maybe you put the monthly earning together with those other, they get your sum, your total sum, right? Now, then you can do a proper check and then mapping to see how much of this total went to what particular expenditure. You see, now you are able to map your income very well, so that if, let's say, you are earning from different sources and at a particular month one source of income is dwindling or is not performing, then you can do a proper assessment. That's what I'm saying, that sometimes, even though some may argue that, for me, I have a good memory, I can keep record of some of these things, it's important that you note them down so that you can now check, this income of mine is going down. I'm not doing so well here.
Okay.
I need to start increasing it. Okay, maybe you have different businesses. This business of mine, this month didn't give me much income. So what is causing that? What do I have to do? Maybe I need to, even though I'm earning more here, okay, maybe I think this is my cash cow. You understand? So what do I do? So sometimes, even if you have to stop some of the, maybe close some of the businesses so that you can invest in the ones that you think are earning you more, then you do that. You understand? So maybe one particular one it looks like you don't have to do much, but it earns you more. You see, then you can give that one to some particular attention. So these are some of the ways we can look at
that. All right. So how do you help someone identify if maybe their income sources are stable, risky, or maybe unsustainable? Because I know that in as much as we're talking about how much money we're talking about income, there are various kinds of income. You know, so that, for instance, if somebody's a salaried worker, then it means that they are earning a stable income. I mean, consistently, isn't it? And then there's also the unsustainable ones. How do you help someone identify if their income source is actually any of these things that I've mentioned?
So you want to know how the person will know the source of their income?
Yes. How do you know that this income that you are earning is actually something that is stable or something that is unsustainable? And I'm saying that I know that for a salaried worker, your source of finance, I mean, specifically from your work that you do and earn at the end of the month, is stable. So you know that is something you're getting every time. Which other ones do you consider unsustainable? I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
All right. So sometimes you are an MC, right?
Yeah.
So if you're an MC, apart from your salaried work, maybe you're also an MC. So you know that, okay, in a month, if you get some gigs to be MC in, let's say, I mean, you have 4 weekends. So 4 weekends, you are able to get some money. But you also know that even if you record for some program in a month, you will not be called every week. And there can be some months that you be even not earn anything at all. You understand?
Yeah.
So now, because you know that this is an income that is irregular in a way, because maybe some months you can be very busy, some months you can get only 1 gig or nothing at all. Now, based on the previous data that we've spoken about, maybe you know that, okay, let's say in last year, how many gigs did I get? Maybe you were able to get, let's say, 12 or something. Then in that way, when you're planning, you can say, that, okay, I'm expecting to get, let's say, 1 gig every month. Now, that should tell you that, okay, maybe that one is not sustainable. It's not something that maybe you can depend so much on. So it's important that we now look at other sources. Now, when we say an income is not sustainable, maybe something that we are looking at going to the future is something that you can maintain, or you can maybe something that can keep coming, or it can take off you even in the unforeseeable future. But like you said, maybe once maybe you get some bonus at work, those ones is based on sometimes based on performance that you are able to do, or maybe then they increase your bonus for you, or maybe they give you a bonus in a particular month.
Right.
You understand? So apart from the monthly one cash flow that you are sure of, there are some that are not sustainable. But that's why I'm trying to explain it for you. So that maybe I may not be able to give you the precise example, but you yourself will know that, okay, there's this income that I earn this month that it's not something I'm sure I can earn in the coming month.
In the coming month.
Some too, maybe they are not something that you did legally. You know, some people in their job, in their workplace, they do some guru work and you get some money.
Yeah.
It's not something that you can plan around. It's not something that you can plan around.
Okay.
Then that means it's not something like it's sustainable in the future.
Right. So I ask those questions because I know that there are people listening to us, and as we were talking about finances and reviewing your finances, their attention is on how much they earned at the end of the month in terms of their salary, and that is all. So that's why I was asking, so that we can talk about the bonuses, the commissions, and all those things that actually come in within the within the month. Yes, I mean, segmenting all of them into the stable, unsustainable, and maybe even the risky ones. So that is that. So for income, you need to look at all of these things according to what Ebenezer is telling us this morning. Let's talk about spending patterns and lifestyle choices as well. Which spending categories usually reveal the biggest financial leaks that people don't pay attention to?
Hello?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Amen. Yeah, so I'm asking that in terms of spending. All right, just before I come to that, I want to know what is the best way for someone to review their spending honestly without feeling maybe guilty.
Oh yeah, so we made mention of the fact that it's important that you are as honest to yourself as possible. I mean, you may have made some mistakes, but those mistakes are important to help you make the right choices. So when you know that, okay, I spent more than I should, please be able to review, please be able to state, be truthful to yourself, no excuses. You understand? Because we want to make things better. So if you are reviewing, it shouldn't be based on what other people are doing. It shouldn't be based on what a friend did. You know, sometimes because we are always with people and they are spending, they are going out, they are doing this. Sometimes we want to match up, but you don't know where the other person gets their money from.
Yeah.
So you should be honest with yourself. It's you, not the other person. Know what the other person is doing or what the other person did. So with yourself, what did you do? How much were you able to save? What did you buy? Were you able to make the investment that you wanted to make? You understand? So it is you being honest to yourself, not what other people will think or what other people will see you do or what somebody did. It's about you. You know the spend that you did. You knew the savings that you were able to make. You knew the debt that you took. So if I know that I'm owing somebody, right, and I have not paid, and I'm reviewing that, it will help me in that, okay, in the ensuing year when I'm making plans, how do I do it, knowing that I owe somebody, knowing that I didn't spend as much as I should, or I spent overboard, right? You understand? So it's important that you state them clearly to guide you in the future. Yes.
Okay, very important. And so I was asking, aside that which spending categories usually reveal the biggest financial leaks that many people do not pay attention to?
Okay, so one thing that we spend mostly on is food. I mean, necessities. Yeah, but sometimes we don't pay attention to that, I would say, because a study actually revealed that Ghanaians spend approximately 46% of their income on food alone.
I see.
Or so that should tell you that many Ghanaians actually spend a chunk of their income, which is of course a necessity. Understand?
Yeah.
So that means that it's something that you should focus on and pay attention to and look at. We are not saying don't eat, it's not spend, but sometimes where do you even eat? It's very important. You have to go to the fancy restaurant. Where was I even eating? If it was even nice, sometimes you go to these places, you take pictures, you post videos. You want everybody to see that, okay, you are spending at or you are eating at some nice restaurants and all that. You understand? So you should check that. Check your food. Where do you eat? I mean, what kind of food do you eat? Those things are very important to guide you. Now, another thing is our rent. Also, rent very necessary, but also takes a chunk of our income as well. Because I mean, averagely in Accra, when you are renting, even a single room, we're talking about, let's say, 700 Ghana cedis minimum or something. If I'm wrong, I'm not wrong. So that it's also something that we should look at. You can also look at if you have children, you are paying school fees. I'm thinking about this, the big outflows that you should pay attention to.
Okay.
Right? Look at transport. If you own a car, you are buying fuel. Okay. And sometimes those who own a car even spend more than those who use public transport. Because sometimes, because you think, okay, because you have a car, you sometimes make unnecessary movements. Sorry, that you don't have to do. You have a car, you can easily move, so you just go.
Yeah.
But sometimes those who don't have a car, you know, when they are going somewhere, they think twice before they go. So sometimes, so you're also paying, even if you don't have a car, you are paying TNT. You are going with Uber. So sometimes, so I ask myself personally, if I'm moving somewhere, do I have to use Uber or I have to go with public transport if I don't have a car?
I think that should depend on certain things, you know.
Exactly.
If you're looking for comfort, then maybe you might want to do so people should actually, I think that people should be making those decisions based on what they are looking for.
Exactly. So I have an example. I was going for a meeting, and I took I went on my boat app, and then I booked the boat. I think it was about 150 cities, right? Then I asked myself, okay, am I late? So I checked my time. I'm not very late. That means that I could use public transport.
Yeah.
So if I can use public transport, which will cost me less than 20 cities, then I'm able to save like 130 cities, right? So sometimes you factor all these things. Do you want comfort? Are you ordering stuff? So do I have to go with my car? So sometimes if you don't, sometimes you can park your car and go with public transport.
Yeah.
It's possible. You see, in fact, some economists have advised that the government should ensure that sometimes they are able to provide comfortable buses. So because if you're able to use public transport, it will reduce traffic on our roads, energy consumption, climate, and all these things.
Yeah,
it's good for them, right? You understand? So these are some considerations that we should be making.
Okay.
In going there. So, like I mentioned, food, rent, utility, they take a chunk of our and even entertainment. You understand? So you have a DSTV, how do you call it?
Subscription.
Subscription. So for the guys, and I know we like watching football. In a particular month, do I really have to buy? Even if I have to buy, do I have to buy the full subscription? Maybe you have to go with compact or premium or something.
Yeah.
In a particular month, maybe my favorite team is not playing any big match, so I'm not buying. You know, these are things that you can make. So you review in the past, what did I do? How much did I spend on all these things? And they help you to make to change your lifestyle. You understand?
Yeah.
So lifestyle expenditure should be important. Also, I mean, some entertainment, social events. We go out. So some of the events that you went to, did you really have to go? The ticket that you bought, where they watch it, you understand? So these are some of the reviews that we can do.
Okay.
And sometimes you have to upgrade. We are not saying that we shouldn't spend. Sometimes you know that, okay, you may have to upgrade based on your social status and all that. Yeah, but we need to make a balanced review and evaluation of some of these expenditures that we do. Yeah.
Right. Even there are quite a number of things I would want us to touch on, but I'm looking at our time as well, and I know that we have very limited time, so we'll try to maybe just touch on a few of them, and then we can go. What are the signs that show that someone actually lived beyond their means this year? What are the things that the person will be able to see to tell that, okay, I live beyond my means?
Okay, so one obvious one is that you know that you were not able to save as you should.
Okay.
You see, so you know that, okay, monthly I'm earning like 6,000, and you look at your bank balance and see, okay, 6,000. Even if I'm saving, let's say 3,000 monthly in a year,
that is 50%.
Yes, 50%. If I'm able to save, that's just
an example, right?
Example.
Okay, so
if I'm saving, let's say 50% of that, I don't have a child, I'm not looking after anybody. 50% should be possible. If you don't have a child and you're not, how do you call it? Some of us are in our parent houses. You're not paying rent. So, how much have I been able to save? If you look at that and say, okay, I didn't do well. Maybe I don't even have any saving at all. Then it's a problem. It's a red flag. Also, you also check whether you owe any. You check your debt, and maybe your debt has increased.
Okay.
That's even worse. That means that you were not able to save, and also even you even have people that you have to pay. So that should also tell you that okay, you lived beyond your means. You see, so these two are crucial. And sometimes you look at the thing that you purchased in a particular year. Are those things still available?
Okay.
If they are still available, then maybe you needed them. If they're not available, maybe you didn't need them. Or you look around you. Is this important? How many shoes did I buy?
Right.
Is it important? This shoe, I don't even need it again. You throw it away. This, they will come there. Then, you understand? So you check. Then it means that you bought things that you didn't need. You did some impulse buying. You look around you in your room. So these are some of the things that you can do to see that okay, you live beyond your means, because one, you were not able to save as much as you should. I always tell people that you should save before you spend. So if you look at it and maybe you plan for instance, okay, I'm going to save 10% of my income, and you are not able to do that, then you know that okay, you live beyond your means. You are owing. You check your books. You know okay, that I have to sort out a few people. Then you live beyond your means, and it's important to normally also check your inflows. You see, check your inflows. If you check your inflows and you are spending beyond that, which will of course lead you to debt, then you know that okay, there's a problem.
Okay, all right. Let's also turn our attention to, since you're talking about savings, we have our time is almost up. So let's touch on the savings as well. So what should people realistically expect to see when they check their savings at the end of the year?
Okay, so the first thing I mentioned, most often when you check your savings, it's important that you review that in reference to the previous year, for instance. So how much did I save in the previous year, and how much did I save now, or maybe this year, right? So it tells you whether you're able to increase your savings or it's reduced, right? Now that is a very good reference for you to know whether you are doing well when it comes to your savings or not. Also, you should check if you are saving. Saving doesn't really give you a lot of interest, right? But it still gives you something marginal compared to investment. Okay. Now, that is also another way to see whether maybe, because if you are able to save more, then you get a better interest on it. So that you should be able to check that as well, whether you are doing well in that regard. Now, I also mentioned the fact that sometimes it's important to check what you spend your money on. Is it something that you should, maybe what that money that you used to buy this thing is something that you should have saved. Okay. And also, it's important that you are checking the thing that you are buying. It is something that can generate income for you, something that can give you money. So sometimes the saving is not in your bank account, or it's on your balance, right?
Yeah.
The saving is something that you've also purchased that can generate. So more like it's also like an investment for you.
Okay.
So it's important that we check. These things as well. In looking at assessment, very importantly, you check. That's why I mentioned the fact that the data part is very, very important for you. Checking what you did previously and what you're able to do now to see whether you are doing well or not. Yeah.
All right. So I think we have to have a conversation to actually project into the year. But those are some of the things that we wanted to talk about. Are there any other things that you think that people should be paying attention to in terms of reviewing their finances, Eben?
Yeah, so like you mentioned, the fact it's important that you are very, very honest with yourself. So you like I said earlier on, I will still say it again. You shouldn't base your review on what other people are doing. What people sometimes we are influenced by people around us, what people are doing. That one is very important to me. It is you review yourself, what you did right, what you didn't do right, not based on what a friend of yours did or what was influenced by somebody else. So be honest to yourself. If you don't have data, then I think it's something that in the coming year you should start doing. That anything that you do, anytime you see someone, anytime you buy something, try and put it down. You can get a small Excel sheet where you do that, or maybe even on your phone. You can input some of these things on it daily, and it's something that is very good for you to do a good review.
All right, Eben, thank you very much for your time this morning. I think that you've given us a lot of nuggets as to how we can go about the review, looking at our income, looking at our savings, and all the things that you've mentioned. I'm really grateful that you joined me this morning for this conversation. Hopefully, we can talk a bit more about some other things in the coming days.
Thank you very much, and thanks to your cherished listeners for having me.
All right. Okay, Eben, thank you. That was Ebenezer Otuokle. He is an economic policy analyst, but he joined us this morning as a finance guy, talking to us, financial advisor, really, talking to us about how we can actually review our year, because it's very important that we review our year. And he says that one of the most important things to do if you want to have a successful financial year, in 2026, is actually to look at the things that you did this year. But it won't be very good. It won't be a very good review if you don't have the data. And by that, he means that you have things written down, the things that you spent on this year, the things that you actually, the income that you got this year and all of that. If you don't have those information or that data, you won't be able to really do a good projection into the next year. So you need to have that in place. So maybe going to next year, you may want to start actually writing some of those things down. And it says that you can do that with a simple Excel sheet, have a basic structure for that, and then be writing all of that, so that even if you are doing it quarterly or maybe at the end of the year, you'll be able to get something to work with. So very important conversation. And one of the things that you also have to look at is your income levels. If you're checking, you want to review your year, then your income level should actually be something very important. So you're checking the sources of your income, how much you have at the end of the day, and how you spent it, and all of these things. These are very important things that you have to look at if you really want to have a good year, financial year next year. So that is all for today. This is how we wrap up right here on the Business Breakfast on Z101.9 FM. It's been a great show. It's been a great conversation. And thanks so much to our guest for joining us, Ebenezer Otuokle. He is an economic policy analyst. And also thank you to you for joining this conversation this morning. Really grateful that you stay with us right from 8 a.m. till now. We're back again tomorrow for other interesting conversations. We know that the year is ending, so we're bringing you conversations that can help you end your year better than you started, and also project into next year and all of that. So please make sure that you tune in tomorrow at exactly 8 o'clock. My name is Nietzsche Ebi Hammond. Please do enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope that you are able to have a good day. And of course, when you think Ghana, please do well to think Z as well. Up next is The Brighter Side with Jeremy Okorie Amwako. Please keep listening to Z101.9 FM.